One of the most important things that Treehouse does every year is we venture to the Pacific Northwest in search of the very best hops that we can possibly find. And for the past 3 years running, we've actually driven there to give ourselves the flexibility to bounce from farm to farm to farm. And typically, most of the best hops in America are grown in Washington, Idaho, and Oregon. So, much to our surprise, on our way out there in 2023, we passed a little hop farm in Montrose, Colorado called Billy Goat. And what makes Billy Goat Hop Farm special is that they're the only brewery outside of Washington, Idaho, or Oregon to win the Cascade Cup. And they won that Cascade Cup not once, but twice.
Billy Goat Hop Farm is a small little farm in Montrose, Colorado that Nate and Lauren actually saw before they won the Cascade Cup. They won it 2 years in a row. We've been dealing with them ever since. Well, fresh hop beers on the West Coast are really popular. They're not as popular on the East Coast, but we've had some good success lately with wet hop trails, wet hop pink, wet hop strata. And we get those harvested like day of and shipped over to us. This year we're trying to do something a little different. It's kind of hit or miss. I mean, we don't necessarily always know what we're gonna get out of a fresh hop, but you know, we've had good luck with going to different farms and asking them for fresh hops and just seeing what happens with them. And Cascade, we know that the Billy Goats turned out really well. We've always liked what we smelled in the samples, and we're pretty confident that they're growing some good stuff this year. So we're just gonna go ahead and get 400 pounds of it headed our way and see what we can do with it. Get this little fresh hop experiment going.
My name's Audrey Gehlhausen, and my better half is Della, Bianca. We're Billy Goat Hop Farm. We're in Montrose, Colorado. We started the farm in 2017. Don't sell to any brokers. We sell directly to brewers. There's a lot of breweries in Colorado, and we just hit the ground running. It's kind of funny because this particular parcel was in barley for beer, decades ago before we were here, but it was kind of like a fun little like, oh, this is our spot. We built the trellis ourselves, over 2,300 poles, 57 miles of cable, 352 concreted deadmen. I never want to hold a 16-pound pry bar again because turns out it's an old riverbed, which means it has great soil, but also a lot of big rocks. A lot more hand digging than I thought. Chris and a buddy built the warehouse, which is pretty impressive. For the USDA, you're a beginner farmer for 10 years. And going into my 8th summer, 10 years doesn't seem long enough. I'm like, man, there's a lot to learn. Yeah, and it's a pretty fun adventure.
You like to see like even cones going up. You don't want to see it concentrated on one side or the other. Sometimes they say that's like the way the sun hits the plants. Like those ones might get more sun. But you want to see, you know, obviously just like anything, green leaves, you don't want to see too much brown on them. If you'd ask any like classic hop farmer, nobody would say that these guys could come down here and win it like 2 years in a row. I don't think, well, I know nobody, that's a US competition. Nobody's won it 2 years in a row. So to do that from here is pretty crazy, I think. I didn't know what to expect coming to Billy Goat. It's fun to see the subtle differences of every farm and how they do things. I don't think you'd expect to find hops like this far away from where we think it is, so it's really fun to branch out, see the differences region to region with some of these similar varieties. We've worked really hard to be able to do this. We wouldn't be able to just kind of run out on a quick grocery run to Colorado to grab some Cascade and then head back for one beer. 5 years ago, that just wasn't a thing. But we've been fortunate that our guests and Nate let us play and are not really like dictating to continue to play by the same rule book, you know?
Hop terroir is real, just like it is with wine and grapes. We're at 6,100 feet in elevation, and we're a heck of a lot further south than, you know, Pacific Northwest. And like when you go to drink a craft beer, you don't think about where do the ingredients in this beer come from. We think, hey, I'm supporting an independent brewery, which is awesome. That's amazing. And it's really good beer. But like beyond that, where did the malt, where did the yeast, where did the hops come from? Should we care about this? Why should we care about this? but you have that relationship with the farmer to know what's going on in the field, and you have that relationship to be able to get exactly what you want and know where your money's going to, know how it's being used. Yeah, where do your hops come from?
They're harvesting now. It's going into the container, into the truck, and it will be here at Treehouse by Friday of this week. And I'm talking to you on Monday.
How about that one? That was good?
Yeah, not as good.
Not as good. Should we bring it back down? We're gonna purge these drums and get the oxygen out of them. Oxygen helps the hops kind of degrade faster. So nitrogen being inert kind of keeps all this stuff that'll start the decaying process of hops out of that drum, so it'll make the trip across the country, hopefully in a good state.
Using nitrogen to flush agricultural products is a method as old as time. And for us to be able to work directly with any farm to bring these hops back to us in pristine condition is an investment that Treehouse took upon ourselves to see through. The beer that it will be going into has already been brewed, so these wet hops will be introduced on the cold side. We've actually found that to produce the best expression of wet hops, and if there's any left over, the subsequent batch will get it on the hot side, and then the cold side will get Cascade from a different farm, and that virtuous cycle will continue. I want our customers in our market to know that Treehouse genuinely does go the extra mile to introduce flavors and experiences that they would not otherwise taste unless we took those efforts. We visited countless countries now and countless hop farms trying to find the very best experience, and this journey to Billy Goat and beyond as part of our 2024 Wet Hop Series it means everything to us, and hopefully that translates into our customers' glass.